Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of my Whovian's Delight bundle featuring the quotes and iconic phrases from Doctors 9 through 11. So this script uses a combination of elements to make the words and letters, and it's not directly letter to letter like most alphabets, because we can form the letters each a different way depending on how we attach the lines and dot modifiers onto these different letter stems. We can make the same word look a million different ways because we can make the same letter look a million different ways. And with that being said, I want to show the bare bones format of the script first, which is what this here is. This is about as simple as you can get because this is actually the same design using all of the same features as this here. I just, artistically put those three lines there and I choose like what size and what flow. A lot of artistry goes into this cipher, which is why we can get such different looking designs. So, with that being said, let's get to how these words turn into this sort of a word. Then we'll get to the designs individually, but everybody bear with me for this first bit where I talk about the script, and then you can jump ahead to whichever design you're most interested in learning the specifics on. So I'm going to work with the word fantastic here for this example. So an F is a deep divot shape. So this is a letter stem. There are 4 different kinds of letter stems. There's a deep divot and a shallow divot. The difference between these two, deep divots and shallow divots, is that a deep divot is more than 50% of a circle, whereas a shallow divot is 50% or less of a circle. So deep divots and shallow divots. And then there are completed circles, like this one. This is a completed circle, and it's inside our word circle line. You can also have completed circles on the line of the word circle, like this one here. It's on the line of our word circle. So, then there are modifiers. There are line modifiers, which are noted here. So this has 1, 2, 3 lines, so it's in the 3-line column. And this has 2 dots, so that means it's in the 2-dot column. So this would be a K or a K sound. And even though this is the word fantastic and it ends with the letter C, you can phonetically swap the letter C to an S or a K or a CH depending on what sound it makes. So in the word fantastic, there's a K sound, so you swap the C to a K. So anyway, let's get to this word itself, now that I think we kind of understand how we go from here to here. So let's talk about how we go from here to here. So this is the word fantastic, and you start reading at the bottom and you go counterclockwise, like a time traveler going back in time. So this is our first letter, and this is that deep divot shape here. All of these divots around the outside are just extra decoration. They're where you could put punctuation if you wanted to, but these outer circles are just the sentence circle, and they hold the word circle. So we have a deep divot, and then there's 1, 2, 3 lines ending on it. Line modifiers count where they end on a letter. So this is our letter F. And then we have a little guy. That little guy is outside the word circle. That makes it an A. Then we continue around. Here we have an N. And yeah, there are some lines passing through the N, but only this one here ends on it. So this line ends here, otherwise you'd see it sticking out on this side. And it ends here, so it counts on both the F and the N. It just lines up, and this is one of the artistic tricks I like to do. So N with 1 line, and then we have a TA. And I put the T and A together, which is the most simple form of letter stacking, putting a vowel on a consonant. And if you do this, you read the consonant and then the vowel. So consonant is read before the vowel. So T-A. And then here's the S, the T, and the I. And this is an S, and this is a T. And this is my S and T stack here. These 2 curves are stacked on top of each other. And there's a thin line and a thick line. And when you have a letter stack, you read thin to thick. So this thin line is our S, our first letter. And then we have 1, 2, 3 lines on the S. And then we have this thick line here, which has a line passing through it, and another one here. But remember, like I said, on the end, lines that pass through letters don't count. So this is the T, and then here we have the I with a line going inwards. So the letter stacking rules are detailed here. Letters with the same stem can be stacked. Again, these black letters are letter stems, so anything in the same row can be stacked. And we're working in this row with the S and the T, so yep, same row can be stacked. and you read thin to thick. So the S is the thick one, and the T is the thin one. Wait, no, thin to thick. ST, not TS. So thin is S, and thick is T. And then vowels are read after consonants. So consonants are read before vowels. So this I here is read after our two consonants. So the S, thin, T, thick, I, vowel. So that's that letter stack. And then our last letter is a K with 1, 2 dots. So that would be fantastic. Okay, let's get to allons-y. So an A is at the bottom of our word circle here at the start. And then we have a double letter. So these two letters are stacked on top of each other because they're the same letter. And we have the same letter twice. You can put them right on top of each other and line up those dots so that it looks like there's only 3 dots when there's supposed to be 6 because the dots are like right on top of each other. And then we have 2 rings. That still shows that we're looking at 2 letters, and they're the same thickness because it's the same letter twice. And then we have this O, and the O is attached to the double L here, like a bead on a string. If we go over to our cheat sheet, this brown one is the O, because it says so here. And then we have the double L, which is in this row with 3 dots. So double L, when you have a letter stack, same thickness as same letter. So these 2 L's are the same letter, so it's the same thickness. And then we have that O, like a bead on a string. And then we have an N, and there's 1 line on that N here. And then we have this shallow divot with 3 lines, 1, 2, 3. Then we have this hyphen here, going from our word circle to our sentence circle. And then we have a Y with 1, 2 dots. So that would be allons-y. Okay, now for Geronimo, starting at the bottom, this is a deep divot with 1 line on it. And then we have an E right in the middle of it. And then we have this R, 1, 2, 3 dots on it, with an O, like a bead on a string. I have a typo here. No, it's fine. That's an I. Okay, so this is inside the word circle. That is outside the word circle. So this here is our stack with the N and the I. And these two look opposite because the word circle here is below our vowel and consonant team, whereas the word circle here is above our vowel and consonant team. So the N has a line on it here, and our I, our vowel, has a line going inwards towards the middle. So that would be the N-I. And then the M is this guy right here, and there's this 1 line here, plus this circle here is not actually a circle. It's just a curved line that connects around the M. You can tell it's not a letter stem because it's not on the word circle, and we can tell it's not one of these completed circle stems because it's not completed. This would be the 2 lines that we're missing to turn this into an M. So then our last letter is this O right here. So that's Geronimo. Okay, Bad Wolf. These guys have start markers. This little marker here tells you where to start and where you can read and rotate from. You don't need that if your design is read bottom counterclockwise, but these are useful for making stickers, which I like to do with these designs, so the stickers can spin and still be legible. Anyway, here we have the bottom of our word circle, and then we have the B and the A. So a B is a completed, well, an almost completed circle, and an A is outside the word circle. And a D is very similar to the B, but it has 1, 2, 3 dots, just like 1, 2, 3 dots there. So that's bad. And then wolf, starting at the bottom, 1, 2 lines on it, then an O, a little guy inside the word circle. An L also has 3 dots, 1, 2, 3, but it's a completed circle. And then an F has 1, 2, 3 lines. And I just made the lines curvy and tapered in that design. Okay, don't blink. This is probably the simplest style of all of the above because I don't have any pretend circles like this one in Geronimo. I just have dots and lines that are straight, and it is quite straightforward. So we have 1, 2, 3 dots on our D, which is good, and the O is attached to it like a bead on a string. And then we have the N with 1 line and an apostrophe, a double line, and then a T, which is this deep divot here. And you can use those deep divots to link words together. So that would be don't, and then we have blink. B, L, 1, 2, 3 dots on the L, I, line going inwards, N, one line, and then a K with 2 dots. Then we have hello sweetie. So the bottom is here, which means our first word is here. The bottom of that word is here, which means our first letter is here. 1, 2 lines are on that H. Then we continue around the word circle and have an E. And then we have 2 L's. Because these are the same letter, we can stack them and make a double line. So instead of doing 2 L's, we can have a double circle, which I have here, with those same 3 dots, because each L has 3 dots. And then we have the O inside our word circle. And that's the first word. And then our next word, starting at the bottom here, this is a shallow divot with 3 lines, 1, 2, 3. And then we have 1, 2 lines on this W. And this is pretty big for an E, but it's still attached inside that consonant stem. And we can't put other vowels, anything other than a vowel onto a consonant stem if it's not in the same row or unless you're doing some really weird stylistic thing. But because this is still relatively small compared to the consonants on this word, this is a vowel. And then we have another E right on the line of the word circle. Then we have a TI. This shallow divot has lines that pass through it, but no lines that end on it. And then we have the I, which has the line going inwards. And then we have the E at the end of our word circle. So then we have this big boy. So this is bow ties are cool. And this is done in a style where I have the stem kind of protrude a little bit on this S. But other than that, it should be fairly straightforward. So here's our sentence circle. Bottom of it's here. This is our period at the end of the sentence. It's a little bit before the 6 o'clock mark, showing that this is the last thing in the phrase, because the first thing in the phrase crosses that 6 o'clock mark and is this first word circle here. Starting at the bottom, we have a deep divot shape with a little guy attached to it. Come on, you. Let me highlight my individual letter. There we go. B, and then the O is attached to it. Then we continue around our word circle and have this shallow divot here with 1, 2 lines. This third line does not go all the way over here. It just ends here. So 1, 2 lines on that W. And then we have a shallow divot, like a bite out of a cookie. It doesn't matter that I have a matching divot on this little arc. And these little arcs are just spots where we could put punctuation if we wanted to, and are otherwise simply decorative. So this doesn't count for anything because it's not on a word. So we have this shallow divot with no modifiers and an I inside it. Little guys are vowels, vowel, 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 lots of vowels. And this has a line going inwards. So that would be the I. And then we have an E on the line of our word circle. And this little guy is part of this word circle because it's closer there. And then we have this. So this is that funky shallow divot I was talking about that kind of curves around a little extra and looks like it tries to contain this word. But because it's still a shallow divot, it's less than 50% of a circle and it takes a chunk that is still open. It doesn't start to curve back around on itself like this deep divot here or this deep divot here. We can tell that this is an S because it has 1, 2, 3 lines. So that would be bow ties. Then we have this word because we go counterclockwise around our circle. We have an A outside the word circle, and then 1, 2, 3 dots on the R, and then an E right on the line of the word circle. So A, R, E, R, and then we have this last word here. We have a K, 1, 2 dots are on a K. Even though this is the word cool, because the C goes K, you can swap it to a K. That's why Sirkles is spelled Sirkles with an S and a K. So instead of the letter C, you can phonetically swap it. So 2 dots on the C, that goes K. And then we have 2 O's. And because these O's are the same letter, we can stack them right on top of each other. So this is a double letter, and that would be a double O because they're both inside our word circle. And then we have an L, 1, 2, 3 dots on that circle. So yeah, and here's the period at the end of the sentence, which a period is like that on the line of the word circle. Well, on the line of the sentence circle, not the word circle. This font doesn't really show sentence circles, so it's just good for letters and stuff. But yeah, so those are those designs, and I hope that video made a bit of sense.